Daily Christmas market attack.
Guns drawn, the moment armed police arrest a suspected attacker.
They arrested him.
A doctor from Saudi Arabia accused of ploughing a car into a Christmas market in Germany. It was supposed to be a night of festive joy, the final Friday before Christmas. But just after 7 p.m, it all changed.
Crazy, lonely
A rental car driven at speed and through barriers, set on an indiscriminate and deadly course, careering into crowds of people gathered by market stalls.
Da steigt er aus dem Auto.
In shock, Tobias watched as the attack unfolded. Around him, terrified people tried to get to safety.
But were you frightened then?
Yeah.
He was so close, he could film the arrest.
Their police got so much restraint. Our police in America would have lit him up, rightfully so. They were able to take him into custody. But to be that heartless, to hit men, women, children, don't care, just in a car, just senseless, just plow into them knowingly, to do that, to like have the pre-thought to floor it and just roam. Oh, you deserve to be under the jail.
Auf einmal gab's dumpfe Geräusche.
All of a sudden, there was a lot of noise and people were panicking. An engine was roaring, he says. Everyone was terrified. The children were screaming. Everyone was evacuated. It was an intense, scary feeling. Very dramatic. The timing was especially cruel. Early enough that families were soaking up the festive atmosphere. One of the victims, a 9-year-old child.
9-year-old. And they said some of the reasons you see at the bottom, some of the reasoning maybe have been his dissatisfaction with the treatment of Syrian refugees, like where they saying, is he saying they've been treated poorly, or they're like taking too much from the system?
This winter wonderland reduced to a place of terror, a place where happy memories should be made, now filled with nightmares.
You can only imagine the terror of the people who are in this market when they will have heard commotion, seen a car coming up here at speed and had little opportunity to escape.
Through the debris of the disaster, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz emerged, soberly retracing the path the evil had taken.
People come together at Christmas markets a few days before Christmas Eve to be together for a bit of contemplation, to drink mulled wine, eat a bratwurst. What a terrible act it is to injure and kill so many people there with such brutality.
This is painfully familiar for Germans. This was 8 years ago in Berlin. 13 people died after a truck was driven into Christmas stalls. The attack...
Oh, so they use this as they know this is when a bunch of people are going to be together, 2016. So this is their version of a school shooting almost. Holy shit.
Anis Amri fled the scene and was later shot dead. But the city of Magdeburg has never experienced an attack on this scale. Today, people laid flowers as they tried to make sense of the senseless.
I'm really speechless, to be honest, about what has happened, because it has happened a lot of times in Germany, but not near us.
See, they ain't got the gun, so what they do, they use vehicles. Crazy people going to do crazy things.
And I don't know, it's really surreal. It's really hard, yes.
How are people here feeling? Are they feeling frightened that something else might happen?
I think so. And the city is very quiet right now. You see don't smiling people. You see that everybody is so down, I think.
Yeah, everybody down. 9-year-old girl gone. And him saying that it could be something to do with Let me see. Let's see. I want to see his reasoning. At least 5 dead.
Outside of far-right activists taken to the streets calling for the deportation of migrants in the country, shouting slogans, carrying banners. Remigration read the big banner at the front of them. Immigration in Germany has been growing.
200 plus dead? Are you kidding me? 200 plus? The only thing that could make 5 dead seem like, okay, wow, we're lucky, is 200 plus injured. Like, you get 200 plus injured and only 5 dead, you can go, oh, it's a shame, but it makes you be able to say, oh, man, not that many dead, but
as one of the major political issues in the country. And this attack, just a few days before Christmas, of course, has really poured fuel.
Authorities about this suspect that were ignored, the earliest being sent back in 2007. What do you make of those warnings being dismissed?
Well, I don't exactly know. He had claimed asylum in Germany, and I'm sure the Saudis may well, we don't know exactly the precise nature of what they were warning, but presumably they were hoping that he might be extradited back to Saudi Arabia. Well, we all know how Saudi Arabia treats people that they consider to be dissidents. Just think about the case of Jamal Khashoggi, who was murdered by Saudi officials 6 years ago. So, the Germans may well have had, good reason to either be suspicious of these warnings in the sense of, the Saudis don't have a particularly good human
abroad who opposed his political views. They also noted he'd become a supporter of the far-right party Alternative for Germany. What are kind of the politics around this attack?
Oh, so he is Islamophobia, so he didn't like the immigrants.
Well, you can already see with the response in the streets of the city where the attack took place, it is going to likely spur more anti-immigrant sentiment just ahead of the February snap elections, because the government in Germany just dissolved a little over a week ago. The share of government, could they win? If they would make a major win at the coming elections, it spells a difference in everything from immigration to Germany's Ukraine policy. And it's a really disturbing, wondering what to make of it.
Well, the big question everybody wants to know is why. And the uncomfortable answer is there may be no really good reason. I'm not suggesting that an ISIS attacker has a good reason either to kill innocent civilians, but at least, in the case of the Berlin market attack in 2016, it was clearly inspired by ISIS and endorsed by ISIS. But just think about some attacks in our own country. It's still not really clear what the motivations were for Thomas Crooks, who tried to assassinate President Donald Trump. Was it an attempt for notoriety or what? He was having some kind of life crisis. He seems to be shopping for grievances. And most of us have grievances, but we tend to grieve them away. The Christmas market before he did it, and
what we know about the suspect: yet to be formally identified, named as Talib A, German media, 50-year-old from Saudi Arabia, lives in Germany since 2006, worked as a doctor, previously expressed anti-Islamic views. That's crazy because he's from Saudi Arabia. That's what's confusing. Like, he's from a Muslim country, and then he becomes move to Germany and become anti his own people. That's what is confusing.
Clearly, this was what the FBI called the pathway to violence, and he went all the way down it.
Thanks to try to add additional security layers to these Christmas markets because it is such a soft target. People walking around
the market, because this market did have concrete barriers called bollards all around to stop someone from driving in. But there was one area kept clear specifically for emergency vehicles, and German officials haven't figured out, was there no one on duty there, or did this guy flash his medical credentials? He was
a
driving
doctor.
normally as he started turning in there. He only picked up speed apparently after he was inside.
So he picked up speed once he's inside. He could have flashed his hospital card and said, "Yeah, look, I'm a doctor." They're like, "Oh, okay, cool." Or came there days before and scoped it out and known people.
And it was too late to stop him. Just one of the many questions that Germans are left with tonight. But you can guarantee, he was not born in Germany. So I think it's going to fuel those anti-immigrant movements.
And it's weird because, like, I'm anti-immigrant because they bringing in these racist people. Like, that's a weird twist of events because that's weird. From Saudi Arabia, but anti-Islamic in Germany. And he's far right, but then they could use it to say, listen, look at these immigrants. Look at these immigrants coming in, even though they're on our side. That's crazy. Let me know what y'all think, Cave 12.